Welcome to the Catamount Football Show with Coach Matt Land. I'm Bill Mayo, and this week we'll take a look at the Osborne game and also talk about the upcoming 2019 season and some preparations for that. So stay right here, back with more Catamount Football after these messages.
With VidLink, OptiLink's exciting new entertainment platform, you'll have the freedom to stream VidLink content on multiple devices, even when away from home. Plus, with VidLink, you can access the widest array of content on the market. You'll get great features like Restart, Replay, cloud-based DVR storage, all HD programming, and so much more. Contact us today to see how you can get linked to the next big thing in video entertainment.
I was tired of being limited by my knee pain.
I fell while riding my bike and needed a partial hip replacement.
I was kicking the ball and I felt a snap.
From joint replacements to complex spinal surgeries, Hamilton Medical Center's experts know how to get you back in the game. Quality and expertise matter. Hamilton Medical Center is Joint Commission certified in hip, knee, and shoulder replacement surgery. If pain is keeping you on the sidelines, get your life back with the help of Hamilton Medical Center.
The holiday season is here. Let Carpet Express help decorate your home. Our warehouses are full of great values on carpet, wood, vinyl, and luxury vinyl planks in the latest styles and trends. And don't worry, because one of the best things about Carpet Express is our professional installation. Floor covering made easy. Shop us online or just stop by either of our 2 locations. Make your selection and we'll do the rest. Light up your home this holiday season with Carpet Express.
All right, Coach, let's talk a little bit about Osborne. It was a strange week of practice, number one, because we just haven't been in a situation where we know the season's over.
No.
But I thought the kids handled that week of practice really well.
They did, and the last time that we've not made, that's one of the great things about Dalton High football. It is a very uncommon thing. The last time that we didn't make it was 2010, but even going into that, we had a region play-in game. So actually, the last week, we still were playing for an opportunity to get into the playoffs. Before that, 2008. Before that, 2004, and before that, you've got to go all the way back to 1983, and then before that, you got to go to 1970, 71, 72. So
it's only about 10 times.
Oh, yeah,
since,
yes,
1970.
Absolutely, absolutely. Now, the argument can be made obviously about the strength of our schedule. Certainly, I think you made the comment. There's never been a region, or we can't remember a region. Where we've played 4 region games against 4 top 10 region opponents, and we weren't one of them.
Right.
So that's another thing was just. But it was a weird week. But these guys, our seniors, did a great job of leading through the week, getting accomplished what we needed to get accomplished, and certainly I think you saw the result on the field on Friday night.
And it was senior night, and so we made a decision last Sunday to start every senior.
That's right.
And that was. I think we took something that was a negative, but turned that into a positive situation for these guys. They were excited to play with their buddies one last time and start on Harmon Field.
Yeah, and I think the guys it was fun preparing for that because we actually said, okay, here's these 5 plays, there's 8 plays, whatever it is that we thought that we could get out of the game, and we're going to focus on that. And I think the other side of that is the graciousness of the guys who did not get to start, who were game-to-game starters, but they understood the significance of the moment, and that's just what makes team
nobody
special.
Complained. I didn't hear
nobody's parents called and said, hey, my son's not going to get started.
Right.
I mean, everybody kind of knew what the situation was, and I thought it was really a kind of a monumental moment to, like I said, see all those seniors out there with the exception of a couple of positions. And so it was really fun.
The game itself,
oh, man.
Man, I feel for Osborne. I mean, they had
no doubt.
30 players.
Yeah.
But at this point in the season, I think they'd lost some guys that quit and came up here. And they played hard, but, man, just it's completely overmatched.
Yeah, you have to kind of go back mentally to January and kind of ask yourself, what was the circumstances of them being put back into our region?
Explain that, because they're in our region and we haven't played them.
That's right. They chose a non-region schedule. What you can do as a team, you can choose for a sport to not play a region schedule. Osborne had done that back in 2000, and I think it's 16, going
just
into
in football.
that just in football. That's right. You're not choosing it for your whole athletic department. We were told this is a 4-year classification. There'll be no adjustments. There'll be no exceptions. This is what it's going to get. Well, lo and behold, we get to mid-year, and I think we talked, or mid-phase, as we talked about a little bit last week, and we wound up Osborne being put back in our schedule. We had to redo into our region. We had to redo our schedule. It cost us the Calhoun game. It cost us a few other things that we wanted to do, and basically forced us to have an 8th region game. But I've heard 2 sets of stories about how that happened. One that they were forced to come back in, but one that they elected to come in. I'm not sure what the circumstances were. I just know this probably was not a wise thing. Not a good decision. And it kind of helps me see why you choose that. Thankfully, you and I have never been on that side of the sidelines before. But at the end of the day, I admire those 28 guys that were left and those coaches. They fought. They played hard. Thankfully, the young man that was injured was okay, just a concussion. And like I said, next season, maybe they'll see. They certainly have talent. I mean, at the end of the day, they have individual talent. Just collectively, they just were not a very good football team.
A couple of notes from the game. Jameer ended up with
260 something. No, 260 something yards. Yeah, we were back.
Finished with how many for the?
He's close right at 1,400. So that's going to put him right there in the top 1 or 2. In Class 6A, and certainly we'll talk a little bit later about some of these kids will be now going to some All-Star games and things like that.
Defensively, got a shutout.
Defensively, our defense just always plays sound, but obviously they were just so overly mismatched by the guys that we put out there. Even when we put all of our seniors out there, they were mismatched. And so just a pitch to shutout, and by, I don't know, maybe they had 65, 70 yards on the total game.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll take a break and we'll be back in just a minute.
Blue. Blue is big. You've got the deep blue sea, the big blue sky, and more people in more countries like blue than any other color. That's big. And in the world of real estate, blue stands for one of the biggest brands, Coldwell Banker. 91,000 agents across 47 countries gives you a super-powered Rolodex and the marketplace muscle of a brand recognized from Indiana to India. So join the blue, join Coldwell Banker, and start doing bigger, better, and bluer things in real estate.
Hi, I'm Dr. Reginald Sherrill. Are you tired of sweaty underarms and dealing with deodorant stains on your clothes? We're performing a procedure called Mirror Dry. It's safe, non-invasive, sweat and odor-free, deodorant-free. It is clinically proven and FDA approved. I've had the procedure and it really works. The procedure takes about 1 hour, it's local anesthesia, and works immediately. Call our office, Dalton Plastic Surgery, 706-226-3311. 706-226-3311.
It's football time again in Northwest Georgia. Not a lot has changed at the Oakwood Cafe since we filmed last season. We are still serving the same fantastic food we have for the past 13 years. Our staff is many of the familiar faces you consider family. Our catering department is the best in North Georgia, serving over 400 people daily. We love this community and we wake up 6 days a week looking forward to serving you your favorite Oakwood Cafe meal with a smile. Oakwood Cafe in historic downtown Dalton.
We're back on the Catamount Football Show, and we've got our coaches interview segment. We've got a kind of a follow-up interview with young Santiago Nava here that's been a coach now for how many years have you been on part of the middle school program, Santiago?
I'm at 3 years now.
3 years? So we had you on about 5 or 6 years ago when you were still doing your student teaching, and you decided to become a teacher and a coach. Talk about that decision and then kind of how you've progressed since we had you on that period of time ago.
Yes, sir. So a couple years ago I was on here because of the rec department, and I was just curious how coaching works. So I was like, well, I might as well get my feet wet, see what kind of career I'm going to go into. And after my at my year at the rec, I enjoyed it, and I'm like, this is the field I want to pursue because I love working with kids. I love seeing them develop and become, not just a better athlete, but a better student athlete. So that's why I entered the teaching profession as well. And luckily, I was blessed to get a job opportunity at Dawn Middle, where I teach 8th grade social studies and also work with ELL kids. And as I'm there, John Patrick gave me a chance to be a receivers coach there. And I've been working there since then. And last year, Coach Land also gave me the chance to work with the varsity staff as well. So I've been blessed to see not just my students get better with school, but also seeing most of the football players from middle school still stay with the program. And that to me, it's a big impact, just not on me, but on them, and seeing them progress as they grow up.
And for some folks watching that may not know your background, talk about your family and your background, because you guys have a long connection to Dalton football, and you really are a homegrown product, as we like to say.
Yes, sir. I've had 3 older brothers that went through this football program, from my older brother Zeke, Gus, and Edgar, and they got to see, Zeke with Chapel and Edgar and Gus with McClurgan, and I got to experience, the same opportunities. And I noticed that what makes this program special is how much of we grow and develop as not just, football players, but as men. And when I came through here, obviously, I wasn't blessed with the biggest and the strongest traits from my brothers. So I had to make up for that. But, what Dalton High School football has taught me is, work ethic's really important, and being dedicated, and the soft skills, that's just like saying yes sir, no sir, yes ma'am, no ma'am. That's our skills that's going to take me further in life than I ever thought, because I used to tell my kids and my football players that being on time means a lot, and you're going to see why, and it's actually preparing you to keep a job in the future. So I never know what y'all were teaching me was going to help me later on become a man later on. And one of the things I'm really blessed with was Coach Land gave me the chance to go to college with the Carter McCamey Scholarship, and they covered my tuition. And for me, that was the biggest help in my life, because I really didn't know what I was going to do after high school. And once I got that scholarship and I got to go to college and do everything I needed to do, I'm blessed, and I want to return that favor back to the community.
Absolutely, that's a great perspective. Talk about how you felt the first time you walked on the Harmon Field as a part of the Catamount coaching staff. A little different feeling than being a player, right?
Oh yeah, this is a different perspective. It's one of those things where you want to do it for them, but you're not there anymore. So you got to let them follow what you tell them. So to me, stepping back on Harmon Field, it just gives you goosebumps. Whether it was me being a manager, being a player, or now being a coach, I still feel the same goosebumps as I was playing my playing days. But it's a great experience. I'm learning as I'm going, because being the youngest, there's a lot of stuff I got to pick up, but it's great stuff, and I'm enjoying it, and hopefully we'll keep it developing as I go.
Absolutely. Now, on Friday nights, you work with the defense, so you're seeing the other side of the football. Talk about that and what your responsibilities are, and maybe how that's changed your view of the game a little bit.
My responsibilities is working with the defense and just making sure that everybody's covered on passing routes. I have my iPad there, so usually what I do is watch backside of the play and make sure everybody's covered. And quickly, as soon as the play's over, I'll let either Kid or Scott know who wasn't covered or who might potentially be looking for next time. And as the play's progressing on the coach's cam, I can look at it real quick and make that observation, make that suggestion next time. Absolutely. So we won't have a busted coverage.
Absolutely. You're doing a great job. We certainly appreciate everything you do, and glad you're part of the Catamount family.
Thank you, Coach Mayo.
Stay right here, back with more Catamount football after these messages.
Buy from the pros who know at Performance Sports Academy. Our pro shop has one of the largest selections of bats, gloves, and cleats in the North Georgia area, featuring Rawlings, Wilson, Louisville Slugger, DeMarini, Mizuno, and the largest New Balance cleat dealer in the area. We provide baseball and softball gear for travel leagues, rec leagues, middle school, and high school programs. Get your baseball and softball training, equipment, and uniforms from the former collegiate and professional players who know at Performance Sports Academy. PerformanceSportsAcademy.com.
We're back to the Catamount Football Show, and we've got a special guest since we're about to transition into basketball season. We wanted to have David Brock, our new basketball coach, on. David, welcome to the show.
I'm happy to be here.
So first and foremost, why don't you introduce yourself to Catamount fans and your background and kind of talk about how you got to Dalton and all that good stuff.
So I started out at Lafayette High School, played there all 4 years when I was in school, and was kind of transitioned to figure out what I wanted to do, and knew I wanted to get into coaching eventually. And when I ended up going to University of Alabama, kind of got involved with the men's team there. That's kind of how I got my feet wet. Anthony Grant, who's at Dayton now, gave me an opportunity there. When I graduated, that led to me going overseas. So I coached pro ball for about a year and a half in England. Experienced that and kind of how that is, and went back to the States and was a assistant coach at Oakland University, which is a D1 school right outside of Detroit. Once my wife and I were engaged, we looked at heading back home, kind of this area, and that's the last 3 years I've been at Cass High School. So had some success there and was looking to transition and see what the next step in my career might be. And when the Dalton job came open, that was something that was really too good to pass up. So I'm here and I'm excited about getting started.
Well, we're glad you're here. Talk about how you think you have a wide variety of experience, and how the professional experience and the college experience, how does that help you with the high school kids?
Yeah, I think that it's helped me seeing how some of these Division I coaches worked and how they really prepped for their opponents. I think if I hadn't have seen that firsthand, I don't think I would have realized how much work really goes into it. So we take pride in being more prepared, I think, than any other teams that we play, and I think that's a benefit of being around those teams. And then just seeing how many different ways there are to play the game. I think, in Europe the game's played so different than how it is here, with side-to-side movement, not a lot of isolation. So just being able to experience those different styles.
So how's the first few months at Dalton High School been? What kind of update on teaching, and also what you've been doing getting ready for the basketball season?
Yeah, it's been great. I think Dalton High School is a special place. Just being there and seeing how much the administration really puts into the kids and the athletics program. I mean, watching our one-act play head off to state, and we've got everybody outside with a bus there and the band's playing. Things that I wasn't used to in high school, just the types of the little things that we do for all our programs. So that's been great. I think the only negative has been I have some neighbors that are tough to live loud, and so professionally everything good. Yeah. I think personally there may be some things that
they're on Valley Drive.
That's right.
It does. Crazy.
It does.
Next
but
to Coach Land in the clan.
That's exactly right. But I think that part of that's me developing thick skin by being here. So.
So, how about preparation for the upcoming season? You guys have been practicing now for a couple of weeks. You've been conditioning all summer. We've seen you down when we were walking out to practice. You've got the basketball, the tall guys out there running around.
Right. Yeah, so we've been working pretty hard. I mean, even before the school year ended, I was trying to get up here and work these guys out and just get them to develop a little bit of toughness and mental toughness. So yesterday would have been the first day that we had our football guys, our dual sport guys, out there. So
unfortunately, we gave them to you a little before
yeah, that's true. But it was good to get them back in there and be full strength. I mean, it's been since June really since we've seen all those guys. So I think the guys that we had not playing football did a good job of developing some mental toughness that those football guys typically have right when they come in. So now I feel like there's not as big a bridge between those two groups, and we can kind of hit the ground and get ready to roll.
One of the other things that is, I think is one of the foundations of your program is getting involved with the community. That's something that really impressed me when we were talking before you were hired. Talk about your philosophy there and what you do with the rec league and the middle school guys. And
yeah, we want to have a better presence with those young guys and really try to get them in on the middle schools, even if it's things like, having those guys help with car rider lines, whether it be Westwood or Brookwood, whatever the school may be. And just, I know when I was in elementary school and I saw guys that played for Lafayette High School, I mean, I thought they were LeBron James,
right,
and you want to do that. You want to be involved. And so we're trying to do some things like that. We had our Midnight Madness event that
had a great turnout.
That was a great turnout. I mean, I was impressed with that and the amount of community support. So just doing some things like that to kind of get the program out there.
Absolutely. Well, before we go, how about your family? Update us on your family. You've got a new addition that
Yes.
showed up, right?
Yes, and he was sleeping great until last night. So last night was rough, but Beckham, I have a 3-month-old son. So it's been a lot of change, I think, but a great time in our lives. I didn't realize, people told me that it was going to completely change my routine, and I was kind of like, yeah, but it has completely changed my routine, but it's been great, and we're really looking forward to him growing up in the Dalton community.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for coming on, and
for sure.
Look forward to seeing you guys on the court this season.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Stay right here. We'll be back with more in just a minute.
Hi, my name is Charles R. Hicks Sr. I'm the owner of Transformers Transmission and Complete Auto Repair Specialist. We have some exciting news. We are expanding to Sugar Road.
That's right, brother. We are building a brand new 30,000 square foot automotive repair facility to better serve our community.
Also want to let you know that we are still open at 815 East Walnut Avenue for all your automotive needs. From the Transformers crew,
thank you and God bless.
Home is a place where all are welcome. It's where the story begins. It's not a place, it's a feeling. Home is where the heart is. At Furniture of Dalton, we handpick each of our 150 brands so that you can find your perfect heart's desire. Come see what you've been missing at Carpets of Dalton and Furniture of Dalton, the destination that brings you home. Exit 328 off I-75.
The twins came sooner than expected.
The nurses cared for me and my baby.
I chose Hamilton because I trust my doctor.
Hamilton Medical Center is home to beautiful new arrivals every day. Each child and each delivery is unique. Hamilton is prepared with a Level 3 neonatal intensive care unit and comfortable rooms and amenities. Hamilton Medical Center, serving you and your family with compassion, healing, and excellence.
Welcome back to Catamount Football Special, and this is one of the best segments that we have all year. It's the Bill Mayo segment, Cooking with Mayo, something we've been trying to get started. So, but anyhow, Bill, as always, you did an outstanding job this year. Bill is a community coach, and certainly me being a community coach, I kind of understand the challenges that go with it. Just kind of, we have a lot of new fans, freshmen coming up. Kind of introduce, not yourself, everybody knows you, but kind of how you came to be a part of Dalton Catamount football from a coaching perspective, and how it's kind of existed for the last almost 30 years.
Yeah. So I played here a long time ago. Graduated in
Long time ago.
Graduated in 1981. Played at the University of Tennessee. Did a year as signed with Green Bay and got hurt and came back and did a year as a student coach, working for Coach Fulmer and Coach Cutcliffe on the offensive line. And then Lisa and I moved back to Dalton, went to work for a company in Chattanooga. We've been sold out a couple times, but I'm still working for the same company. And started coaching rec league football. I wanted to give back to the game. Football had done a lot for me at that point, and so I went out to the rec league and got involved over there, and I coached, I guess, 9 or 10 years of rec league football, either 9 and 10-year-olds or 11 and 12-year-olds, and our kids were little at that point, so Cameron wasn't playing, and the girls weren't even born yet. So I was out there coaching just different with friends, coaching their kids, people I knew. Had a great time. Loved that experience. Moved to the middle school in, I think, 98 maybe, or 99, somewhere right around there, and did about 10 years over there, 9 or 10 years over there. Worked with Steve Bartu.
Steve was the head coach.
Steve was the head of the middle school program, or at that point, 7th and 8th, and John Patrick was the 7th grade coach. When Steve moved into administration at the high school, John Patrick took over, worked with him for a few years, and then when Adam Weingarten took over as head coach after Coach McClurg, I came onto the varsity staff and then stayed with you, been with you ever since. It's been a neat perspective seeing it, and I did radio for a long time.
That's the part I was going to ask you about. Talk about kind of how you transitioned, because you were when you were coaching at the middle school, you were our play-by-play guy with the color guy. Yeah, so kind of talk a little bit about that, how that is also kind of helped with your vision of the game.
Yeah, you learn to, sitting up there and describing it on the radio, you want to be able to, obviously people can't see what's happening, so you want to paint a picture for them. And doing that, I would focus on the line and different aspects of the game that Randall was doing play-by-play, and he's calling the ball carry and all that. Well, they didn't need to hear that from me. I would try to find something else. And so when I started coaching, obviously being interested in the line, I've always focused on that side of it. What's happening with the defensive front? What's happening with the offensive front? And watching that. And sitting next to Coach Nate for several years when he was calling plays in the press box, I would watch that perspective for him, and it was an interesting time sitting up there.
All right, I'm not going to ask you to contrast the coaching styles of Coach Napier and myself. I won't do that. I know that's a little different when it comes to play calling. Yes. I want to ask you two good questions, though. Here's the one. You told me something one time that it really kind of sparked me, and I'm going to take a detour for just a second, because I think it's relevant, though, to the people that watch this show about their kids. Talk a little bit about the company you work for, about how they actively sought to hire former football players. Yes. Because that was just an interesting thing to me, and I want to kind of put that out there about how this goes beyond just these times in high school, at college maybe.
I've been a big proponent of hiring ex-athletes, and that came from the company that I originally went to work for. Celox was a family-owned business in Chattanooga. The sales manager was an ex-football player, and he believed in hiring ex-athletes. And when you stop and you think about it, it makes some sense. They've got to be competitive. That's right. They've got to be able to take a butt chewing. They've got to have some self-motivation and some discipline, especially when you're a salesperson.
Absolutely.
And if I don't get out of bed, nobody's gonna. I don't have to check in at the office or anything like that. So you've got all those traits that you want in an employee. Being an ex-athlete kind of narrows the field that you have a better chance of hitting success when you're picking from that type of field. And it's paid off. I mean, we've had our company actually just hired Hunter Long that worked with us, coached with us for a year or two, and he's doing a great job, played center at Georgia. And I can cite example after example.
Well, that's when you told me that was something. All right, now we're going to go to another end of the spectrum. Right. Other than the city of Dalton, you may have purchased more LED lights this year. I want you to talk a little bit about just your
affinity for Christmas lights?
That's affinity for Christmas. Well, I think we're going Christmas and Halloween now. You got to put everything. I'm waiting for Valentine's Day lights.
So it started. I had my Uncle Hank lived up in Ohio. And we would go up there at Christmas time when I was a kid and drive around. He lived in a little town in Ohio. And he would drive around, and all his buddies put out Christmas lights all over town. And so we'd go see them all and visit them. And then he'd have the guys from his shop come and put lights in his yard. And I thought, that's pretty cool. I like that. So I started kind of fooling around with it on a small basis.
There's nothing small about it.
And it's becoming somewhat of an obsession.
That's awesome.
When you have a storage building over across from Home Depot that
I was about to say
has lights in it.
That is so awesome.
But I turn them on Thanksgiving night, and they go off sometime after New Year. So if you're over on Rio Vista Drive, just follow the glow. And you'll find this back there on the
you
back
can
side
see
of
it once you turn off Walnut, away from the Krispy Kreme lights and the sign lights. It's your house that's lit up from South Dugout. So be sure you come see. All right, we'll end with this. Obviously, tell us a little bit about your family. Obviously, you have a new addition over this last year, which has been exciting.
We have 3 kids: Cameron, Whitney, and Hannah. And Hannah and Matt, her husband, just had. our first grandchild, Landon, and she will be a year old in December. And she is a cute little girl.
She is. She's great.
A
That's awesome. Well, Bill, thank you for what you do. You've been an outstanding psychologist to me, if nothing else, and barbecue connoisseur. We'll be back right after these messages.
The holiday season is here. Let Carpet Express help decorate your home. Our warehouses are full of great values on carpet, wood, vinyl, and luxury vinyl planks in the latest styles and trends. And don't worry, because one of the best things about Carpet Express is our professional installation. Floor covering made easy. Shop us online or just stop by either of our 2 locations. Make your selection and we'll do the rest. Light up your home this holiday season with Carpet Express.
This old guy.
Oh, that's Cooper. Most people like to adopt the younger dogs, but one day your time will come, huh, Cooper?
Sweetheart, what about those puppies?
Honey puppies. Mommy, Daddy, that's it. That's the one.
The Coldwell Banker Homes for Dogs project has helped find homes for thousands of shelter dogs.
How's your tea?
Because our agents don't just understand real estate, they understand what home is all about.
All right, got our captains coming out. We had the senior night ceremonies. That's always a chance for you to shake hands and hug mamas and shake hands with daddies.
And there's a lot of them.
There were a lot of them.
There is a lot of them. But boy, what a good group. 22 seniors we graduate this year. Right there is what it's about. Look at all those young guys out there, coaches' sons and managers and trainers. And, it's a family. And, as we told these guys after it, you may stop being a football Catamount, but once a Catamount, always a Catamount. And so it's just awesome to see these guys together. One last time, there's a shot of Landon, quarterback. Just once again, a great opportunity to see some of these younger guys like himself come back one more year.
Opened up the season.
The way we, opened up the season ending game.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is a great run back here. I think it was the first game of the year. Ringo, we started the season out that way and end the season that way, so that's kind of fitting. Great job. Tice has been a great Catamount for us, certainly somebody that has run the ball and made a lot of tackles and got a lot of yards, caught a lot of catches, and certainly we will miss Tice, and we appreciate his contribution to Catamount football as well. Great effort right there, Jarrett Montgomery and Jameer and Bryce Houghton getting down there to get in front of him. Jack Ridley.
That's always a good way to start the game.
Absolutely. We didn't start enough that way.
No, we didn't.
I'd love to have had a few more that way. So
it's like we talked about. We didn't get any opportunities because everybody kicked them in the stands.
Yeah, after our first couple of games where we returned so many, everybody stopped kicking us. And we'll certainly miss that right there.
Absolutely.
Excited for Ivan this week. Got his Under Armour jersey presented to him. He'll play in the Under Armour game January the 3rd, 6 o'clock down in Orlando, Florida. Certainly a great Catamount as well, headed to Wake Forest. Good tackle there by senior Nikki Lama. Nikki's been a great Catamount as well. Someone that's played a lot of defense for us and special teams and really, really played well the other night. And played well this season, got put into some real situations. The winter rye was put down, and that's one of the reasons why it was so slippery. Doesn't explain how slippery the ball was, but it explains how slippery the field is.
Brant's belly got in the way. He couldn't recover that fumble.
That's right. Defense comes in once again. Justin Ketchum, one of our senior captains from the other night, played really well this season for us. Here you see Ethan Arnold turning it back in. Great backside pursuit right there. Christian Lama and John Ross. Great job right there. John comes in, gives a little bit up on contain right there, gets outside. Big hit right here.
Called helmet to helmet.
Yeah, and I'm kind of like you're not a fan of the running clock. I'm not a fan of that penalty. It's not that I don't want to not see people get hit in the head with another helmet. It's not that. It's just you're asking guys that don't get paid anything. They're not professional athletes. They're not college athletes. You're asking them to have an insane amount of control over their body in a microsecond. And it changes the course of the game for the whole team. It's not just an individual penalty. It's something that hurts the whole team. Great coverage right there.
There's Yendi Cruz, one of our senior receivers, catching the ball. Here's Jameer being Jameer, and there's Idre.
Well, what a great job by Idre.
Yeah, he didn't block anybody. He just ran down the field.
You linemen, why do y'all like
I don't know.
Why do y'all like to run that far?
There's a good kick-out block by Brandt. He needs to just hit 48.
Yeah, or an official, something.
Yeah, somebody,
right?
somebody.
Hit somebody.
Don't run that far.
And then your favorite running back?
The giraffe, here he comes. Somebody said on the headset it looked like an episode of Wild Kingdom.
Looks like Coach Brock mowing his yard out there beside me over that picket fence.
Galloping down through there.
Great job. He's got great field vision. Obviously, it's such an advantage of being tall.
We make fun of him, but he's really good. He runs pretty well.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right. So 14-0. Good job right here by Sam Carlson, another senior for us. Alan Molina, great job. Love seeing those guys get in there and play the other night. Jack Ridley sets the corner here and turns it in, and great back beside pursuit right there. Good job. Justin Ketchum, another great job. Jackson Elkins, another senior, played corner for us this year. Had a good year on special teams as well as playing in the secondary some. Great job right there. Another great job by Sam Carlson. Played really well the other night. Jackson Wells, outside linebacker. Great job as well for him. See him come off the corner. Jackson came along mid-season and began to play a lot with us and played with us and started from mid-season on.
Back on offense. That's an RPO. There's Brandt hustling down the field.
Isn't that great, man, right there?
And then he falls.
But he hit somebody, at least.
He did hit somebody.
He got down there and hit somebody.
Hustled down there and hit somebody. Good job, Brandt. This was a designed run play, and the outside linebacker was sneaking in the box, so Landon read it and just decided to throw it to Tyus, which worked out really well.
There's a shot of me and my psychiatrist.
Yeah.
So.
Trying to figure out what's going on here.
Yep.
And there's Jameer.
Yeah, great job.
In the end zone.
Good job right there by Osbaldo.
Yeah, he watched the guy. He slammed inside and did a nice job of watching him down. Got all 5 of those offensive linemen that started were our starters this year are back next season. So we're expecting these guys to work hard in the weight room and definitely improve. Nathaniel's big head up in the stands.
No, that was actual footage.
No, Nathaniel.
Good job right here. Our defense really kind of keeping these guys hemmed in. They had a lot of speed, and we were able to go 3 and out again, turn it over to our offense.
There goes Jarek.
I tell you, to me, that's one of the greatest teammates that I've ever seen. That kid right there worked harder than anybody else on the field. And regrettably played behind one of the best tailbacks to ever come through here. But he certainly not only filled in, he earned his spot. We depended on Jarek. There was things that Jarek did that we depended on. And I tell you, I really would. I'd give anything that he would be back with us for another year. We'll miss him as well.
The whole offensive line, they all get in. There's Hunter Brown and Amari and Nathaniel and Saul. They're all pushing.
That's awesome. Great way to end it. That'd be. Hopefully somebody got a shot of that. That's a great. I'm sure Doug did.
All 7 of them in there.
Good snap, good hold, and good kick. We'll be replacing all of our specialists next year except our holder. But you got to start somewhere, right?
That's right.
Good job by our defense, Lane Cox right there. See Ryan LaRue right there on a little X stunt. And right here, I'm glad they didn't call it, but I think we know what it was. I think everybody knew what it was, but it was one of those. I don't want to say it was a pity call or sympathy calls, whatever they say it is. But a great job by John Ross not giving up his outside leverage and getting it down. And
if people are wondering why we didn't return any punts the other night, why don't you?
Well, you know what? It's a great point, and a couple of reasons. One is I hate to say this, but it is what it is. Good play there by Austin Hackney, a senior corner for us that started last part of the season. You know, first is I think we would have scored most of the times.
Right.
That's the other thing. And I wanted to have our offense. I think secondly, though, and you know me, nobody wants to win as bad as I do. But there's also a respect for your team.
That's right. That's just demoralizing as a team when you
absolutely.
Get punt after punt run back on you.
Absolutely. And I knew coming this game our defense was going to overmatch their offense, and we would get 8 to 9 punts in this game. And I wanted our young guys to earn it on the field. We would be able to, but I also wanted to let those young men feel like they were competitive as well. And I hopefully we accomplished that as much as we could. It's going to be fun to watch that young man next year. We didn't talk much about this later in the show, but he's going to play in some All-Star games as well. One of our linemen, Osborne, hopefully will be able to be in one as well, and maybe our quarterback and a couple of guys on defense for hopefully. It's a great opportunity for these guys to really kind of showcase what they can do and project for the next year. So once again, just a great job right there by our defense going. I think this is one of the few times they did pick up a first down and move the ball down to midfield. And here you see a fumble and basically going out of bounds, and of course moving the ball back for a fourth down, kicking it to us.
Come back on offense. Jet sweep here. There's Jameer doing a good job out there blocking for Jarrett. Picks up 10, 15 yards.
He just does so well of having vision. Mm-hmm. He's quick as a cat, and you don't see him. Thought our receivers this game also did a great job downfield. And right here, great adjustment by Tyus. Slippery field, good throw, back shoulder throw by Landon. Gets the ball. We only got to throw. Landon was 4 of 5 for 85 yards the other night. When a game gets out of hand that quickly, there's other things you can work on in the game other than your passing game. And certainly as a last game, really wanted to do that.
Coming back. That probably was supposed to go one way and then ended up going completely the other way. That's why you see Ty Thurman there running to the right and Jameer goes back to the left. And I guess we influenced the defense too.
Yeah, they tend to chase people. So second quarter, 42-0, about 4 minutes left, 3 minutes left. Good job here by our defense. Alexis Magani, you see him right there, another one of our senior players. Played some early in the year and on all our special teams. Did a great job right there. And then here, another good job by Jackson Wells on the backside, staying at home.
24 played hard for them. He played quarterback and outside linebacker. And
yeah, he was a good player.
Yeah, he played hard.
I mean, he's one of those guys you kind of look at that team and you say, you know what, this guy could be playing for a lot of teams in our region. Mm-hmm. I mean, he's a good player. And, you have to believe, certainly on a team like that, his character is very good as well to be able to work that hard. Good job, Idre.
Coming back with the toss sweep.
A lot of pictures of that same coach from Osborne. You notice that? It's like he's right where we run out of bounds every time.
Yeah. Come back running the same thing the other way. Man, he's got to do a better job on that end. And there's a flag.
And blocking the back by a receiver.
I had a lot of flags.
And that's one of those things. I just, you hate to see that right there.
So going into half, 42-0.
With VidLink, OptiLink's exciting new entertainment platform, you'll have the freedom to stream VidLink content on multiple devices, even when away from home. Plus, with VidLink, you can access the widest array of content on the market. You'll get great features like Restart, Replay, cloud-based DVR storage, all HD programming, and so much more. Contact us today to see how you can get linked to the next big thing in video entertainment.
Hi, I'm Dr. Reginald Sherrill. Are you tired of sweaty underarms and dealing with deodorant stains on your clothes? We're performing a procedure called Mirror Dry. It's safe, non-invasive, sweat and odor-free, deodorant-free. It is clinically proven and FDA approved. I've had the procedure and it really works. The procedure takes about 1 hour, it's local anesthesia, and works immediately. Call our office, Dalton Plastic Surgery, 706-226-3311. 706-226-3311.
There's David Henry.
Yeah.
Last time.
Yeah, I tell you, I shared a great moment with him before the game. You know, we hate to see he's one of our Catamounts that's leaving, and certainly has done a tremendous job over the years with our band, and certainly he's brought back the sound of the red, and we appreciate all that he's done for our program.
I saw Jeff McKinney directing the band before the game. I don't know if he's auditioning.
He is. He's auditioning.
Be the replacement.
Yeah, you can't be a coach and athletic director, but you can be the band leader and athletic directors too.
There we go.
You see some young guys getting in now right there. Number 45, Brock Johnson playing linebacker. Number 48, Josue Lopez. Number 78, Leo Torres, one of our seniors, is in. Played very, very well the other night. He and 97, Leo Garcia. Wonderful to see those guys play. And, of course, Gabe Hill, number 22, is going to be back. Tremendous guts of a player.
Coming back on offense.
Number 17 right there, Kareem Page. Certainly a young man you're going to hear a lot from. Good job blocking on the perimeter.
Got our young guys in. Started moving them in with some of the guys that have been starting this year. So that was good to see them out on the field.
Absolutely. And this is Miguel Perez, one of our auditioning kickers for next year. It'll be a little different than seeing Ivan out there, but certainly Miguel and XLK and a few other kids that we have will be trying for that right there. So I'm sure Ivan's coached them up well enough.
Come back, you see Ashton Blackwell. There's Ashton playing quarterback. Did a fine job playing freshman and some JV quarterback this season.
Yep.
I got a lot of good experience.
Reads extremely well, got a lot of great natural talent, very coachable, and that's what makes him so appealing. Very, very coachable.
See a senior and a freshman guard right there. There's Hunter Brown, 68, and Ty Thurman, or not a sophomore guard, Ty Thurman,
right.
71. That I think we're expecting Ty to be in the rotation next year.
That's right.
Contributing. Good block by him right here, and he and Ozzie. Good strong kick.
Yep, yeah, he is a very strong kicker.
I think this is where the young guy gets hurt right here.
Yeah, there's about 3 minutes left right here. He picks the ball up, and what you're going to see is Caleb Hernandez is going to fall behind him, and it's actually when his head hits the turf. And this is one of the great moments. It's a sad moment because you hate for it to come at the expense of a player. But our guys understand this, and I think we were able to spend some time with this team. Football's a whole lot bigger than that scoreboard right there. It's about those connections that we talked about earlier. And so had some time there to be able to pray with those guys, and certainly they were upset and were worried about their teammate. But thankfully, as we mentioned later, he came out with just a concussion and will be fine.
And why don't you explain? They wanted to stop the game, but we learned.
We learned the hard way.
Ringo
That's right.
made us come back and finish this.
That's right. You got to play a game. So we just decided to run the clock and continue to play. But certainly we understood there. I don't know what Jeff McKinney's doing there, but it was a great opportunity for us to get some young guys in. But you certainly understood their coaches not wanting to play.
All right. This is our JV offense, and there's Maurice.
That's right.
Scoring a touchdown. Look for him to contribute some.
Absolutely, Maurice should. Maurice is a good. And right there, you see our coaching staff wishing those guys well on this year. They did the best job they could, and certainly our hopes and prayers continue with the young man. And good luck to these guys. Hopefully, they'll have a good off season as well, and we'll see them again next year.
Home is a place where all are welcome. It's where the story begins. It's not a place, it's a feeling. Home is where the heart is. At Furniture of Dalton, we handpick each of our 150 brands so that you can find your perfect heart's desire. Come see what you've been missing at Carpets of Dalton and Furniture of Dalton, the destination that brings you home. Exit 328 off I-75.
It's football time again in Northwest Georgia. Not a lot has changed at the Oakwood Cafe since we filmed last season. We are still serving the same fantastic food we have for the past 13 years. Our staff is many of the familiar faces you consider family. Our catering department is the best in North Georgia, serving over 400 people daily. We love this community and we wake up 6 days a week looking forward to serving you your favorite Oakwood Cafe meal with a smile. Oakwood Cafe in historic downtown Dalton.
Buy from the pros who know at Performance Sports Academy. Our pro shop has one of the largest selections of bats, gloves, and cleats in the North Georgia area, featuring Rawlings, Wilson, Louisville Slugger, DeMarini, Mizuno, and the largest New Balance cleat dealer in the area. We provide baseball and softball gear for travel leagues, rec leagues, middle school, and high school programs. Get your baseball and softball training, equipment, and uniforms from the former collegiate and professional players who know at Performance Sports Academy. PerformanceSportsAcademy.com.
Hi, my name is Charles R. Hicks Sr. I'm the owner of Transformers, Transmission and Complete Auto Repair Specialist. We have some exciting news. We are expanding to Sugar Road.
That's right, brother. We are building a brand new 30,000 square foot automotive repair facility to better serve our community.
Also want to let you know that we are still open at 815 East Walnut Avenue for all your automotive needs. From the Transformers crew,
thank you and God bless.
All right, Coach Land, we've come to the final segment here, and so let's kind of wrap up the season. Just touch a quick recap of this year.
Well, I'm so proud of these guys. I made a comment in the paper, and one I've made to these kids a lot. We're so quick to try to find a stat or a scoreboard to measure our success by. And I don't think this is a team that will do that with. Obviously, we won't because of the playoff implications, but more importantly, these guys did a lot off the field. They did a lot to come together as a team. They faced probably as much, if not more, adversity as any team we've ever coached, at least since I've been the head coach, since 2010. Yes. Third, this team really cared for each other. These guys, they literally lived together. I mean, if I would see one text or a Snapchat or an Instagram story, they'd be 7 or 8 guys in it with them, and they'd be at somebody's house, watching the game or playing Xbox or something. And so, I think those are the things that matter when you really think about a team. You think about relationships. You mentioned it earlier when you were talking a little bit about your work and that. I mean, it's the relationships, it's the connectivity. And from that standpoint, this has been a very successful team. It's been one that's been a joy to coach. It's been enjoyable to be around these guys for 4 years. I'm just very, very proud of them.
Next year, we've got a lot of returning starters, and we're going to have some, as coaches, I think we've got some pretty high expectations for these guys.
And we should. Yeah. We really should. 2016, we graduated 17 starting seniors. Last year, we graduated 15 starting seniors. This year, we'll graduate 4 starting seniors. So we have played a lot of young kids, and when you do that, there's a couple of reasons why you do that. One is because you have to. Right. Very few times do you do that by choice. But secondly, though, you do it because they're good enough. And certainly, this group has shown that on the field of play, they can compete with, certainly this year in this region, 4 of the best teams we've ever faced in region play, and probably at least 2 of those teams, I would say, in the playoffs. Right. I mean, it's really not going to surprise me at all to see Creekview in that Final Four, right. And so it's going to be interesting to see how that all shakes out. But yeah, I think as a collective group of our coaches, and I hope as players, I mean, that's really where it comes down to. You and I can have all the expectations in the world as coaches. It comes down to those players. That determines how hard they work during the off season, how many workouts they make in the summer, how they're committed to do the things that they need to do when they're by themselves, not with coaching. When they say, hey, Bill, you want to go out and throw some, or hey, y'all want to hit some routes this Sunday afternoon? That's the kind of things that makes a difference and gets those guys to the next level, certainly the level that we've grown accustomed to and the level that we like. So I'm anxious to see what those expectations will breed as we go through this next 6 to 9 months.
Off-season program will begin very shortly?
Yeah, well, you know, it's been a great thing that we always try to give them a break because we go about 185 to 280 days, depending on what you do in the playoffs and those kind of things. This group has already shown signs. We try to give them at least a week to 2 weeks off after the season's over with, focus on grades and things like that. Their grades are pretty sound, with the exception of a few that we're going to begin to work with on some really kind of intense study hall. These guys are ready to get back in there. I mean, they're like, hey.
One of them asked me Friday night, is the weight room going to be open Monday, Coach?
That's exactly right. I mean, they're already calling saying, Coach, when we get the balls on Sunday, we want to be throwing. Some of us are going to come in. So that's what you want to hear. That's the ingredients of success. You know, it can't all just be coaching. There's a lot of it that has to come from these young men, and I'm excited to see the character of this group, how it'll manifest itself with that.
I know you have some thank yous you want to go before we wrap up. Why don't you cover those?
Yeah, you know, there's a couple of things that I think ultimately we just really overlook, and we try not to, but right off the bat, our two SROs at the high school, Bart Chandler and Seth Hudson, they do an outstanding job, first of all, protecting our school. Consummate professionals. They work very well together. They're their own team, but, you know, that's the most important thing is they're protecting our young men. But the security they provide us on the road, the security that they provide us in these different environments, the travel escorts going back and forth, they're professionals. And, I mean, it's as good as colleges and pro teams in the way they take care of us, and I just really appreciate those guys. The one that I probably fail to mention every year, but I always remember it this last week, and he's probably the most important one, and that's Chuck Harris. Chuck Harris just does an outstanding job of motivating our players every Friday with devotionals. On Tuesdays, he'll come in and do a one-way to play drug presentation about playing drug-free, and, you know, he's just somebody that is concerned about our players. More importantly, though, he engages our guys as our team chaplain off the field, and he takes care of a lot of needs that these young men have physically, financially, emotionally, socially, certainly spiritually. And, you know, it's just awesome to see someone that's not only pouring back into our program because of how they want to take care of the program, but really the kids individually. And I don't know that they get enough of that. I know we try as coaches, but at the end of the day, it is a sport. It is going to be about winning and losing on some level. But at the end of the day, it's back to that connection relationship, and Chuck's as good as they come. And so, Chuck, we really appreciate all you do, and thank you for your commitment to Dalton Catamount football and its players.
Absolutely. He does a great job. We'll wrap up like we always do. We'll be back next season, 2019, same cat time, same cat channel.
Go Big Red.